Okay, here we are. Wow. Don't you just love technology when you're trying to do things, get something accomplished? Anyway, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am ShaRon Rea, and today is Monday, August 3rd, and this is the Conscious Communication Show and the practice of no judgment, just love. This is episode 5. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy and excited to do these for you. And I sincerely hope they are helping you. Each show is different. Each show has a different topic. And today's topic is your personality has its own language. Let's get to that one in just a minute. So my name is ShaRon Rea, and I am a family, relationship, and communication coach. The name of my business is The Whole Family Coaching, and my joy and pleasure is to help individuals and family members communicate differently, trying to enhance their bonds. Sometimes in our family, it's the most difficult place to have a really good conversation because there's so much history and they know us so well. But that's my job and that's my joy. I'm also the founder of a global movement called No Judgment, Just Love. Oh, this movement has been around for 6 years, and I am so honored that so many people have picked it up, carried it forward, and really embraced the message of judging less and loving more. So every episode of the Conscious Communications is supported by Enlightened World Network, and I really appreciate their support. So I welcome you every Monday and Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon Eastern time, and 5 p.m. across the pond. We will have one topic and 3 tips for me to offer for you. So talking about our personality. We all know that we walk different, we live differently, and we actually talk differently. And we talk through our personality. So consider the people that you have conversation with often. Some of them, you can just flow like butter. You complete each other's sentences, you understand what they're saying. There's just easy conversation. And then there are those wonderful friends and family members and people in meetings that you just, what the heck are they trying to say? Or they don't really understand what you say. And you find yourself having to repeat yourself or explain it 2 or 3 different ways. Has that ever happened to you? Well, it's happened to me often, and I am thrilled to bring you some tips and clues about how to manage that, to kind of decipher the code of other people's personality. But I give you a caution. Once I give you this information, maybe you already know it, and this is just a repeat for you. Really sincerely use no judgment, just love. You do not want to put people in a box. So even though there are going to be 4 different areas where I give you information about 4 different types of personalities, we all are a blend. And so everyone has a little bit of each one within them, including you and me. And so when you are deciphering how someone speaks, recognize that you may not get it exactly right, and that's okay because we are a variety of people. So let's get into the 3 tips. The first tip is, how does knowing the language of your personality help you in conversations? And then I'm going to describe the 4 personalities that we're going to work with today, and they are through colors. The colors of orange, gold, green, and blue. Now, you may have known some of these personality identifiers in business, like Myers-Briggs or Strength Finders, and those are very excellent in the business world to help companies and organizations understand how to make a great team, how to have people that have different personalities create a cohesive team for their business. Well, we're going to use this colors, personality, for how to communicate in your family and personally with each other. And then the third tip is some tips on how to communicate with those different personalities. So let's get into it. The first one is, how does knowing the language of your personality help you? Well, these four personalities, two of them are similar and two of them are similar to each other. And that is when people of two of these colors decipher information or speak whatever they want to speak. One is speaking from the head, very logical, very systematic. The other two are speaking from the heart, very feeling oriented or emotional, but not emotional in a negative way, just showing their emotions. And so the second thing is how a language in your personality can help you is it gives you information, like I said, about how to decipher what someone is saying. And you always get the opportunity, if you choose, to use no judgment, just love. So you can stop judging that somebody said something just to hurt you. Now you can realize, well, that's just their personality. They're speaking from that foundation. And the words may come out a little harsh for you, but once you have this information, now you can choose to use no judgment, just love with them. And this also helps you communicate more effectively. Being able to get your message across with those people who speak different words and they speak different ways. Let me give you a quick personal example. My former husband and I are very different in the way we communicate. And here's an example of how that works. If someone were to ask us a very easy question, the same question to both of us, what is the weather? Very simple, right? Well, I would answer it by saying, well, it's really hot outside. You got to use less clothes, really make sure you have your sunglasses, know that. And so I'd be describing how you exist in the weather. That would give him zero information because what he wants to hear is 111 degrees. And then he will figure out how he's going to manage that temperature. If you give me 111 degrees as the answer, I live in Scottsdale where it's very hot. So sometimes it's 120, 118. Sometimes it's 90 or 80. So 111 doesn't give me information about am I coming down from being really hot or moving up from being cooler. So you see, just that very simple question gives you an opportunity, once you have this information, to communicate more effectively. And that gives you much more control because people don't have to change who they are. You don't have to try and make someone talk differently. You now have the little clues, just like Sherlock Holmes. So you can figure out for yourself, again, if you choose, because we're always responsible for our communication, how to communicate with them differently. So let's move on to the next tip and tell you about the four colors. The four colors, like I said, are orange, gold, green, and blue. And here are some characteristics about each one. So you might be able to identify yourself or someone in your family. Orange are those exciting people. They just, everything is new. The world is their oyster. Nothing ties them down. They're very quick. These are also the ones that take more risks, not only in their life, but in their communication. And what they want from you is to recognize that they're talented, recognize that they're free. And when you speak to them, try not to put them in a box. The second one is gold. Well, quite opposite. That one's from the head. These wonderful people are very logical. They want things in order. You start at the beginning, give me the second thing, and then the third thing, and not too much all at once, because that gold personality is working to understand each aspect of it, and they want to be able to respond effectively. So not too much information at once and keep it in order. The next wonderful personality is the green personality. This is also a logical personality, but a little bit different than the gold. The green person is thinking these long, big, wide, deep thoughts. They're often scientific, or maybe they're really good with data, but they do a lot of analysis inside their thoughts before they speak. So when you're speaking with them, what they want you to know is talk about their what they're interested in. Talk about things that have concepts and ideas, not too specific, keep it really broad. And then the fourth personality, this one's me, is the blue personality. We're all about connection. We're all about how are we communicating and creating a relationship with the person that we're speaking with? So what we want you to do is really recognize that and show caring and concern when you're speaking with us. Also, give us a lot of opportunities to be outside the box and be creative. Our communications is going to come from our heart. And so there's hopefully an opportunity to judge us less, because everything we speak is our opinion. It comes from what we believe. And so that's neither right or wrong. It's just what we believe. Hope that helps a little bit. Now let's get into some tips about how to communicate with each one of these wonderful personalities, because everybody's different and you might find that you resonate with a little bit of each of them. And that's really good because that gives you a chance to know yourself better. So the first one is orange. Those are those wild, wonderful, world is my oyster kind of personalities. And so the tips to help you speak with them are get to the point. Don't go on and on and on about a lot of things. They have their minds think quick and they want to move on to the next thing. So get to the point and keep it short, so you keep their attention span. My younger daughter is an orange, and when she was in high school, I used to want to explain things to her, and I know if I didn't keep it to 1 or 2 sentences, I would lose her attention. Also, never bring up the past. These personalities stay in the present and more often in the future. And whatever they did or didn't do or talked about in the past, it's out of their head and gone. So when you bring it up, they're going to create that disconnect with them. The next personality is the gold. Remember, those are the ones that are very logical and they plan ahead and they want to hear things in order. So when you speak with them, it might even be a good idea, if you're not in that kind of communication personality, to step back and pause and really plan out what you want to say to them, so that you make sure that you get your points across, but also you get them across in a quicker way. The next one is the green personality. That's the one that's scientific or working with data, that really thinks a lot. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you're talking about something that they're interested in, because they will have a conversation with you if it's something that's important to them. And then the really important thing to recognize about this personality is, because they're in their head thinking a lot, it takes time for them to make a decision. Time for them to answer you. Have you ever had someone in your world like that? I did. My older daughter is like that. And whenever I said, hey, let's go to the store, it would be slow for her, because in her head, she's thinking, go to the store. What should I wear? How long are we going to be there? What am I going to? So it would very much frustrate me, because I'm from New York and I want an answer like that. And she just took her time. So once I understand these colors and the personality, I had lot less judgment for her and a lot more patience. And now to the fourth one, the blues. That's me. The very first thing to know about a blue personality and our connecting abilities: speak to us and greet us first. How you doing? How was your day? That gets us the door open for us to listen to whatever you have to say next. So if you have children like that and you're trying to correct them or give them some discipline, if they are a blue, before you start telling them what to do, ask them how they are. Greet them first. Also, recognize that the blue people, the blue personalities, they really resonate with people more than things. And they speak from who they are. So when they're talking about something, that is them. And they would really appreciate you not stepping on them or judging them. So I hope that gives you a lot of wonderful information about how to communicate with the language of everyone's personality. Now remember, at the end of every show, I want to leave you with a no judgment, just love quote. And today's quote is not only about no judgment, but just love, but it is the Serenity Prayer. Have you heard of the Serenity Prayer? Here it is. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. And that's the people that you're talking with. Courage to change the things that I can. And that's you. You can change how you communicate. And the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you, everyone, for joining me for episode 5. It's Friday. Yes, today is Monday. On Friday, we're going to talk about emotional triggers and how they interrupt how you communicate and give you some tips to move through that. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your week. Really think about who you're speaking with. Take a pause and know that their language of communication may be different than yours. Always use no judgment, just love so you can make every word count. Bye now.